Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you how to rent a car in Greece, all the tips you need to know, what documents are needed, where to rent the best car, how to save a lot and rent a car very cheaply. You will see which are the main car rental companies and everything you need to know in a very quick, useful and non-binding way. So guys, enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because that helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, many people dream of visiting Greece. It is the dream of many people. It's a beautiful and sensational place. It was one of the most beautiful places we have ever been in our lives, and there are some details when we talk about car rental. Athens, which is the main city in Greece, is usually where you arrive because most of the flights go straight there, so it's not very useful to rent a car there. There you can do everything on foot, using Uber, a cab, and so on. Is not so recommendable for those who like to rent a car for the trip. Of course, rent one. It's a much easier and more comfortable way to see the places, but it's not worth it. It's not so necessary. Now, the place where it's necessary are the islands. Greece is super known because of the islands, mainly the islands of Santorini, Mykonos, and Crete are islands you theoretically need to rent a car. It's very difficult. There's no public transportation there. The ones that exist are very complicated. We didn't like to try to use them, and the car ended up helping a lot. You will be able to go there and back because the islands are big. We talk about islands and imagine they are small, but they're big enough for you to go from one tourist spot to another. And the main thing we realized to visit the beaches, you need the car. The most beautiful beaches that we wanted to visit and that are listed among the most beautiful ones in the world are these islands. They were always further away. We needed a car. It was about 40-50 minutes to get to the beach, so renting a car on the island is very worthwhile, and that's why many people look for car rental in Greece. And the islands are smaller, the car rental companies are also smaller, and the price is sometimes a little lower. You will see that it's not expensive to rent a car there, the fuel is not expensive, and finally it's very easy to park because the island does not have many regulations. So these are places where renting a car ends up being easy and it's well signposted. There were some places that we found that getting to the more distant beaches was a little difficult because it's mountainous, the roads are narrow, you have to be a little careful, but overall we managed to do everything in a very smooth way. The first question everybody has when they want to rent a car abroad is, what documents do I need to rent the car? So let's go. You need your passport, your international credit card to make a prepayment, to leave it registered with them in case there is a charge or something. This is normal anywhere in the world. Now the third, there are many places in Europe where you only need your national driver's license. In Greece it's not like that. Unfortunately, it's one of the three countries, Greece, Italy, and another one, I think it's Hungary. You need the PID. And what's the PID? It's the International Driving Permit. It's nothing more than your driver's license translated. It's very easy to get it. We went to the website of the traffic department of our country and applied for it there, paid a fee that was not expensive. They delivered it to our house in a few days. It's a little card. It's like your driver's license translated into English. It's a permit for you to drive around the world. Unfortunately, it's one of the only places there that's required but necessary in theory. And what happens? We have rented 4 times of different islands and they never ask it for authorization. We only use it our valid national driver's license. Make sure yours is not expired. This is very important. They ended up not asking, and everyone we have talked to so far said the same thing. And the same thing happened in Italy. We rented the car in Rome, we rented it later in Florence, and they didn't ask for it. It's up to each one. If you want to risk it, the chance is low, but it exists. We think it's better to do it to guarantee it, but then you can relax and avoid headaches, but it's up to each one. If you search, you will see on Google that almost everyone says they never needed it. Another tip that's the most important is how to save a lot and find your car there. What happens? There are several big car rental companies there. There are some that are gigantic in Europe and worldwide, so we recommend that you go to the bigger ones to avoid headaches. We have done it with smaller ones and ended up having problems, so you always go for the bigger ones. Alamo, Europe Car, Thrifty, $60, Budget, Avis, and National. There are several companies. They are all good and very similar, so what do we recommend? That obvious tips. Search them all because prices vary. Some have promotions we'll get a much cheaper price looking in all of them. But you don't need to look everywhere. There's a car price comparator that's sensational. We'll even leave the link here in the description of the video along with all the other links of the tools we use and save a lot on your trips. It compares all these car rental companies, so you enter the date of your trip and it will list all car rental companies, the cars available by car category, which is very nice, and you can guarantee they're the best price and the best rental guaranteed. They have the price sometimes even much cheaper than the rental companies themselves because they are the biggest comparator practically in the world. They have very strong negotiations with the rental companies and their price ends up being even better than with the rental companies themselves. So just by using the price comparator that we leave here in the description, you will save a lot. We always try to use it because they have the best prices. The other tip is to do it in advance, as well as in the hotel, in the lodger, and the sooner you do it, the cheaper you will pay, because it works by demand. As people are renting cars and they run out of stock for that day, the price goes up. The sooner you do it, the more car options you will have a chance to get a nice car and you get a much cheaper price than leaving it until closer to the trip. And within this tip is the anticipation. You should make your reservation in advance through the internet using the comparator or some other sites. Sometimes people leave the car rental there. It's the worst option because you will pay more. The purchase will be in euros, you will pay all the taxes, fees, and you run the risk of not having the car available at the time. You will lose time there, 1-2 hours to do all the process at the car rental company, and finally book online. It's much easier, cheaper, and much faster. Another important tip is insurance, and what happens whenever you rent a car. When you're there on the website, you'll see that it's already included. Compulsory is the basic insurance against theft, robbery, and accidents. This you have to have, it's very important, but the rental companies try to push other extra insurance for glass breakage, risks, and several other things. In our opinion, over all these years, it's not worth it because it's a high cost and we never need to use it. It may happen and you may need it, but in our experience and with everyone we talk to, don't take this insurance. If there is an option there to take some extra thing, don't take it because it's not worth it. The price is high, you end up saving a lot if you don't take the insurance that come along the way together with the other that you're gonna need. And another item that comes up is the GPS rental. You need the GPS to locate yourself because you don't know the country you are visiting. But what happens? The rental companies charge around 6 euros, sometimes 7 to rent the GPS per day. So you can use their GPS in the car. But if you only buy an internet chip to use your cell phone abroad, you will pay cheaper than that. Then you would pay to use the GPS there for about 8 days. I don't know, 10 days. And you buy a chip to use your cell phone internet at will during your whole trip. So you will pay cheaper for the chip than you would pay for the GPS. And you can use your cell phone as a GPS that works very well. We'll even leave here in the description of the video the link to the chip we always use there in our last trips. We found it very good and tried several ones because there are a lot of them. There is one that has an excellent signal. It worked well in the small towns in the interior of the country. We visited more distant beaches and it worked everywhere. It's very good. We bought it and they delivered it to our house in a few days. We received it quickly and traveled with it. We put in the cell phone and arrived using it. It's very good. You can recharge, use the application to track, and ultimately they are very good. There's chat if there's any doubt, help to know what's the chip. I'll leave the link below and you can use the cell phone during your whole trip so you don't rent the GPS. Buy the chip because it's much better. Another tip, when you rent the car there, pay attention, ask what the fuel is, because many times your usage to your country, sometimes you travel and don't realize it, and when you need to fill up the tank, you won't know what the ideal fuel for that car is. In Europe in general, most cars are being made with diesel, but it's always good to ask so you don't have this doubt when you fill up, and the price to fill up is not expensive. We who are used to our country, it ends up being even cheaper. You will find it very cheap to rent a car there, just like in the United States. For us who are used to our country, which is much more expensive, so you end up paying a very fair price there, so you will see that you will not expend much. And now talking about the tolls too, a lot of people have this doubt, but any big car rental companies, the one we recommend you to rent the car, they are already registered with the license plate in the toll system, so usually you can go straight through and the charge will go to your credit card. What you left when you rented the car, they will charge you later when you get the report at the end of the month about the car, because they have everything right in the city hall, you know, with the toll companies, and then you are automatically charged. But the tolls are not expensive, it's very cheap, and the values are much lower than what we are used to here in our country, so the comparison is very simple. And another important item for those who are going to travel with children is the car seats. So as soon as you make the reservation, you'll see that the option appears there to choose. It's super easy, at least in this comparator that we use here. It offers you the options of age and weight of the child. You select, and when you pick up the car you confirm it, but usually they already give you the seat. You put it there on the spot, install it, and no problem. But check it out because it's important. Don't risk traveling without a car seat for kids because they really fine you. They are very strict with this safety issue. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. If you liked the video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel because it helps us a lot, and follow us on social networks. We're always traveling the world trying to show things in a very cool way and the routine with our little one in a very relaxed way. And when you're traveling, tag us, tag @Lorenzo in some publication or some story you're going to do so we can repost and show people your trip. We follow you too because we like to see people using our tips and traveling around the world. And be sure to watch the video on how to save a lot of money during your trip to Greece. It's a very good video that we put together. They are very good tips that will make you organize your whole trip, saving as much as possible on everything. I'll leave it here on the side. It's very good, and a playlist with all the other videos from Greece below for you to follow along. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much and have nice trips.